guys, Grip Edge Tools back with you again. Today we're going to be having a look at the amazing gripping power of the RPT Socket Extractor. This is an external extractor designed to be hammered down on rounded nuts, rounded bolts, and exhaust studs. You know, there just hasn't been a good exhaust stud remover on the market until now. Come on, let's check it out. So what we've got is an exhaust manifold that I pulled out of a junk pile. As you can tell by the look of those studs, they've been in there a long, long time. Thousands and thousands of heat cycles, I'm sure they're frozen in there. I'm gonna have to heat them up with a torch to get them out. I've decided to go with the deep style socket extractor. Now once I hammer this on, the way that it engages that stud, I've got bi-directional control so I can work that stud back and forth. I think that's gonna be crucial in getting them out. Now I have both the 10mm and the 3/8 SAE here. When we're talking stud removal or something that's 100% round, standard and metric no longer apply. So as I have a look at which one's going to give me the engagement that I'm looking for, the 10mm looks pretty good, but I think that 3/8 is going to give me the best grip. You want to make sure you get a nice tight bite on that subject. Now, one of the other neat little benefits of the socket extractor is this is a quarter drive. You wouldn't use a quarter drive anvil on that, so I'm able to take the dual drive and put a larger socket over top of it to drive it. We're going to change it into a 3/8 and I've got a breaker bar that's going to work that back and forth. So let's get started on heating that up. Now that I've got my protective gear on, let's go ahead and get it done. Alright, I think that's pretty good and hot. Now let's go ahead and take our socket and hammer it down on that stud. Now, when I hammer this down on there, that's got a nice tight bite. I can already tell that's the engagement I'm looking for. Go ahead and put that socket on there. Let's see if we can get this bad boy to budge. I love the bi-directional control that these give me, and look at that. I can work this back and forth. That's crucial when you're trying to take out a stud. Oh, look at that. Absolutely, that's gonna come out. We are winning. Come on out of there. Look at that. Boom, a successful extraction. Now the next hurdle you're going to have is how am I going to get that stud out of there? Well, we're going to let it cool down just a little bit. As you can tell, it's good and hot. But what we've done at Grip Edge Tools is we've designed the foreign object removal rod that's going to spin it through the back and just push that stud out. I'm going to take a minute, I'm going to let that cool off, and I'm going to show you just how that works. All right, now that I've let that cool down a little bit, we're going to take that rod and just look how nice this works. It spins in through the back just like this. Grab that bolster with a pair of pliers, and we're just going to walk this thing right on out of the tool. Just look at how nice that works. Pop, and there she is. And you can see the distinct lines of contact that that socket made right down the length of that stud. I had an absolute lockdown on that. So you know, in the past, the only really stud removers there were the silver ones with the floating ball bearings in them, and we've all had uses for those, and they work okay from time to time. But what you can't do is put them down on a hot stud like that because they expand and they kind of fly apart. I've got some tool truck experience. I've warrantied many of them over the years. And they're kind of fat, they're kind of big to get into a tight spot. The socket extractor's kind of thin. You know, you can put it on an extension, maybe tap it onto your subject, get in there with an extension and get them out. Get into a nice tight spot. So guys, when you're looking for something to take out rounded nuts, rounded bolts, and especially exhaust studs, make sure you reach for the Grip Edge Tools Socket Extractor. Absolutely the best grip that you can get down on a stud.